Have you ever gazed up at the night sky and wondered about your place in the universe? It's a profound human question. We look for patterns in the stars, seeking to understand the cosmos. But there's another, equally vast universe to explore, the one inside each of us. This is the universe of our personality, the collection of traits, tendencies, behaviors that makes you uniquely you. For centuries, we've tried to map this inner cosmos. Today, one of the most common tools we use for this exploration is the personality test. These tests are essentially psychological instruments designed to measure and categorize the consistent patterns of our thoughts, feelings, and actions. They are our modern-day astrolabes for navigating the self. In the vast galaxy of personality assessments, a few major star systems dominate the view. One of the most respected in the scientific community is the Big Five, also known as the Ocean model. This isn't a type test. It measures you on 5 broad spectrums of personality. Openness to experience, your curiosity and creativity. Conscientiousness, your organization and discipline. Extroversion, your sociability and energy from others. Agreeableness, your compassion and cooperativeness. Neuroticism, your sensitivity to stress and negative emotions. You aren't one or the other. You simply score somewhere along the continuum for each trait, creating a unique personality profile for every individual as distinct as a stellar spectrum. Then we have the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator, or MBTI. This is perhaps the most famous personality test in popular culture. It sorts you into one of 16 distinct types, like INTJ or ESFP. The MBTI is based on the theories of Carl Jung and proposes 4 dichotomies: introversion versus extroversion, sensing versus intuition, thinking versus feeling, judging versus perceiving. Another prominent tool, especially in corporate settings, is the DISC assessment. So, how do we go from a series of questions to a detailed personality profile? The process begins with the questionnaire, the data-gathering instrument of the personality test. You are presented with a series of statements or questions, such as, you enjoy vibrant social events with lots of people. You prefer a neat and organized workspace. You're typically asked to rate your agreement on a scale, from strongly disagree to strongly agree, or to choose between 2 competing preferences. This is the raw data collection phase. Each response is a tiny data point, a flicker of light from your inner universe that, when combined with others, begins to form a larger picture of your psychological makeup. Once you've answered all the questions, the scoring system takes over. This is the analytical engine of the test. Behind the scenes, each of your answers is assigned a numerical value. Questions are grouped together based on the specific trait they are designed to measure: sociability, assertiveness, seeking out social stimulation. These are tallied to calculate your score on the extroversion scale. The test's algorithm then aggregates these scores to determine where you fall on each measured dimension. The final output is the identification of traits or your type, a standardized, easy-to-understand map of your personality built on your self-reporting. When we talk about the science behind personality tests, we're really talking about psychometrics, the science of measuring mental faculties. A good, scientifically grounded test must have 2 key properties: reliability and validity. Reliability means consistency. Take the test today and then again in 6 months. A reliable test gives roughly the same results, like a telescope showing the same stars each night. The Big Five model shows high test-retest reliability. These 5 core traits are relatively stable in adulthood. They form the bedrock of personality. Validity asks, does the test measure what it claims? A valid extroversion measure should predict real-world behaviors: how many social events someone attends, how much they speak up in groups. The Big Five shows strong predictive validity in many areas. Conscientiousness predicts job performance and academic success. This is the science, measuring constructs and predicting outcomes. But shadows creep in. Tests have limits. They reveal tendencies, not specific actions. Your traits are not your destiny. Context matters. One of the most common applications of personality tests is in the world of work. Many companies use assessments during the hiring process to gauge a candidate's potential fit for a role and the company culture. For example, A sales position might benefit from someone high in extroversion and conscientiousness. A research and development role might call for high openness to experience. Beyond hiring, organizations use these tests for team-building exercises. Teams share results from tests like DISC, helping colleagues understand communication styles and work preferences. That can reduce conflict and foster collaboration. In a more personal sphere, these tests are tools for self-discovery and growth. Taking a personality test can feel like turning on a light in a room you've lived in your whole life, but never fully seen. Discovering you're high in neuroticism isn't a life sentence for anxiety. It's an invitation to develop coping strategies. Understanding a preference for intuition over sensing explains why you love brainstorming big ideas, but get bored with practical details. The insights from personality tests can illuminate our relationships. A personality framework shows others may operate from a different psychological blueprint. Neither approach is better, just different. Despite their popularity, personality tests are not without their cosmic-sized caveats. One of the most significant criticisms is the problem of oversimplification. Human personality is incredibly complex, shaped by a dynamic interplay of genetics, environment, life experiences. To distill this universe into a four-letter type or a handful of scores is a reductionist act. It's like trying to describe the Grand Canyon by showing someone a single photograph. These tests can create boxes too small for a human being. Another critique is cultural and demographic bias. Many tests were built on weird populations. Questions and constructs may not translate across cultures. A behavior that signals assertiveness in one culture might be seen as rudeness in another. Misfit measures can reinforce stereotypes rather than reveal authentic traits. There's also the risk of misinterpretation, the astrology effect. Treating results as rigid identity or excuses misuses the tool. Deterministic thinking closes doors and ignores human adaptability. A personality test captures you at one moment, a valuable data point, not the final word. So, you've taken a personality test and now you hold the results in your hand, your personal star chart. What now? The first and most crucial step is to approach it with curiosity, not conviction. Don't accept the report as an absolute truth. Instead, treat it as a set of hypotheses about yourself. Does this resonate? Where is it accurate? Where does it miss? The value is the self-reflection it inspires. Remember, personality is a spectrum. A binary label is just shorthand. In reality, you fall along a continuum. Perhaps you are 60% introverted and 40% extroverted. Don't let a label limit your behavior. You contain multitudes. Share and discuss your results with people you trust. Partner, friend, or counselor. Using I statements, not weaponized labels. Say, when we discuss this, I need my emotional perspective heard. Turning labels into bridges for empathy. See your personality not as a fixed constellation but as a dynamic, evolving galaxy. You can grow, learn, stretch. If a result points to a weakness, build systems, habits, and strategies to support the change you want. Your profile is not a verdict, it's a guide to harness strengths and work on what you wish to develop.